It's 5 o'clock and time for Wiregrass Strong. The new coronavirus epidemic is a big problem that's expected to become bigger in the weeks and months to come. For those who are infected as well as those trying to avoid infection, these are trying times. But amid all the doom and gloom, there are some positive stories, positive messages, and reasons to remain hopeful. So every afternoon at this time, your Wiregrass Radio family of stations will come together while staying apart to help you stay informed. We're going to be seeking your input. If you're a business impacted by the virus, call and let the Wiregrass know what you are doing to continue safely providing your services or goods. And if you're a parent working hard to take care of your family, we'd love to hear how you are coping. Remember, only the facts, no hearsay or rumors, and we're trying to keep things positive. Our number is 334-699-1053, or you can join us on YouTube Live, and you can chat throughout the program. Good afternoon. It's a Friday and another Wiregrass Strong. We are staying strong, Wiregrass. I want to thank y'all for being here with us. This half hour is brought to you as a public service of Knights Wrecker Service. Big or small, they do it all. 899-3257 Ashford, Dothan, and Headland Knights Wrecker. 899-3257. Want to remind you where you're streaming live on Facebook at B1053. And on YouTube, you can go to our Wiregrass Radio channel on YouTube, and you will see a link. And just click on that, and you'll be able to watch today's program. Already several folks logged in on YouTube. And if you have questions, I'm going to go ahead and open up the comments there. If you have questions for our guest, you'll be able to type your comments in there, as well as on Facebook Live over here. So let's go ahead and get right to the introductions. Directly below me, that, of course, is David Wash Yo Dang Hands Gilligan.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Morning show with Pollard and Dave. Hello, Dave.
How's it going, guys? Good to see you this afternoon. It's a beautiful, beautiful Alabama afternoon today.
It is a beautiful day. And in the lower right-hand corner, from Magic 93.1, the People's Station, that is Mr. Marcus Cage. Hello, Marcus.
Hello. Good afternoon to all. Thank you for having me, and thanks to the guest for coming up.
Absolutely. And our guest, without further ado, the Alabama Secretary of State, Mr. John Merrill. John, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Hey, guys. It's great to be with y'all. Excited to talk a little bit about what's going on in the elections as far as our state is concerned, and hopefully answer some questions for your viewers and listeners.
Absolutely. We'll get right to those because one of the obvious elephants in the room is the fact that we would rather not get out and mingle around right now. We have a stay-at-home order from our governor, and we are going to do our best to honor that. And that is the only way. That, and as Dave says, to wash your dang hands. Stay away from folks and wash your hands.
That's right.
That's how we're going to beat this thing, and it's been proven. So how do we get out in July, and how do we vote in the runoff election of July the 14th? Yet how do we stay safe and do that?
If you don't mind, let me give a little background to tell you how we got to where we are today.
All right.
In 2019, as we were preparing for the legislative session, talking about the bills that we wanted to bring forward, one of those that we brought to the chambers was one that would give the power to postpone or suspend an election to the governor. The reason that we did that is because in the Code of Alabama and our Constitution, there is no designated individual or entity that has the wherewithal to do that. But actually, last year, I had two different members of the body tell me that this was not something that they needed to consider because it was not something that was ever going to happen. It had never happened in the history of the state. So why should it happen now? Well, let me just say this. We felt like it needed to be done. So this year we brought it back again. State Representative David Standridge from Blount County, who's a former probate judge and the chief election official there, is carrying that legislation for us in the House. And in the Senate, State Senator Donnie Chastain from Geneva County, who also represents a part of Houston County, is carrying it for us in the Senate. And they're doing so enthusiastically. But as the coronavirus continued to raise its ugly head, one of the things that we realized is that we weren't going to be able to pass that legislation before the time came for action to be taken. So we wrote a letter to State Attorney General Steve Marshall asking him to consider the following. Does the governor have the authority, whenever she has declared a state of emergency in Title 31-9-1, to suspend or postpone an election that is already scheduled? He agreed with us that the governor does have that authority. So we met with Governor Ivey. We talked to her about the concerns and the considerations that we had, asked her to consider a plan that we presented. She endorsed that plan. She actually moved the election runoff date from March 31st to July the 14th, and that's when it will be held. Now, some people have wondered, why was July 14th selected? The reason July 14th was selected is it's the last possible date that we could have the runoff and it not interfere with the regularly scheduled general election to be held on November the 3rd. Now, another question that people have asked is, well, how are we going to get to that particular point? Well, as you know, a number of people had already started requesting absentee ballot applications or absentee ballots after the March 3rd primary. And so we talked about what we could do. We evaluated the law once again, and Title 17-11-3 gives the Secretary of State the ability to be able to modify some things through administrative rule. And one of those is that we are going to have the opportunity for all registered voters in Alabama to be able to request an absentee ballot for that period of time leading up to July the 9th, which will be the last day. So it's still 91 days that an individual can request that information. They can do it on our website at alabamavotes.gov. They can call Carla Woodall, who is the circuit clerk down in Houston County. They can call the local absentee election manager in their county if they don't live in Houston County, and they will send an absentee ballot application. When you've successfully completed that, send a copy of the absentee ballot application along with a copy of your valid Alabama driver's license or your valid photo ID, and then they will mail you your ballot, and you can cast your ballot for the candidate of your choice.
All right. We are right now looking at that website, Secretary, and that is at sos.alabama.gov/Alabama votes. And you can go there and check out all this information. You can also call at 800-274-8683 for more information. So
Absolutely. And you can call our other number at 334-242-7200, or you can call me on my cell at 334-328-2787. We'll be delighted to help you.
there you go. That is right to the hip pocket of the Secretary of State. Now, if you have questions, that's the way to go get them. Dave, you have any questions for Secretary of State?
Actually, I do, John. Good to have you on the program this afternoon. A lot of people are automatically thinking, oh, didn't I already vote? Who is actually going to be required to vote in this absentee runoff election? Not everybody has to go, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no, not everybody has to vote, of course, but all 3,591,403 registered voters in Alabama are able to cast their ballot for the candidate of their choice. And we want all of them to get out. Now, if you voted in the primary on March the 3rd, then you can only vote for the party that you selected on March the 3rd, because there's a no crossover law that's in effect. And so you've got to make sure that you vote in the party primary runoff, that you voted in the party primary. Now, another question, Dave, I think is so important, is that people know that we are an absentee excuse state, which means when you vote absentee, you have to say why you're voting absentee. We want to encourage everybody to check off the box that says, I am ill or infirmed and will be unable to go to the polls on election day. That is a qualifying reason for you to vote absentee in this particular election. And Title 17-11-3 gives me the wherewithal to claim that for all voters in the state.
That's great information. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Other questions?
The website, I know you guys spent a lot of time on the website. You've made it clearly pretty easy to do. What if somebody doesn't have access to a computer in their phone? Is there perhaps a way over the telephone or over your smartphone that you could do it?
If they don't have access to a computer or to a printer, they need to call their circuit clerk in their county, and that individual will mail them an absentee ballot application. If they don't know who that person is, call 242-7200. Call me on my cell, 334-328-2787. We will mail an absentee ballot application to you at your home or the location that you've designated for us to send that to.
Now I have a question. Now, once again, John, we want to say thanks for joining us.
Yes,
with the election being moved to July 14th, what is going to be the last day to register to vote?
Great question. The last day to register to vote is June the 24th, 2020. That is 14 days prior to the election. That way we can make sure your voice is heard and your vote is counted. Even if you turn 18 on July the 14th, you'll be able to cast your ballot prior to that time. There is a 2-week dead period, but we want to make sure that you're able to cast your vote and join the 1,491,301 registered voters that have registered since January the 19th, 2015. Actually, Grace just told me that date. I'm sorry, it's not June 24th, it's June the 29th. That's 2 weeks prior to that date.
That's outstanding information. Look, we don't even go to the website with you in the house, John. You've got all the facts and figures right there. You seem very concerned to keep Alabama abreast of the voting situation. It counts a lot as far as not just decisions and the decision makers, but doesn't it help you understand where everybody is, kind of? I don't want to say it's a census, but it gives you a good idea of where people are, right?
You are exactly right. Our team has done the things that we've done in the last 5 years, 3 months, and 23 days that I've been the Secretary of State, because the people of Alabama have told us what they want us to do, what they need us to do in order to allow this office to be more effective for them in our service to the people of the state of Alabama. That's what we're going to continue to do as long as I have the privilege to serve as your 53rd Secretary.
And I'm so impressed at those numbers. He knows how many citizens in the state of Alabama and those who are registered to vote, and that's pretty incredible. I do have a question concerning safety at the voting booth, safety at the polling places.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, the state has addressed that.
Great question, and we want everyone to know that each one of the 1,980 polling sites in Alabama will be open on Election Day, July the 14th. And you also need to know that for our poll workers, inspectors, those people that will be working the polls, those on that particular day, will each be assigned a mask. They'll have non-latex gloves available to them. We will have sanitized wipes available to continue to wipe down the equipment all day, to wipe the pins off by each voter as each voter arrives. We'll have disinfectant that will be sprayed throughout the place each and every hour throughout the day. And we'll have hand sanitizer for those voters who come in to be able to sanitize as they take possession of the pen and then when they get ready to leave and turn it back in. And the last but not least is that if your church is serving as a polling place, or your school is serving, your community center is serving as a polling place, after the election is over, we will pass by each county a bill from a site that will enable us to go in and to pay a professional cleaning entity to restore the condition that it was in prior to Election Day. And all of that is going to be absorbed by the federal government thanks to the stimulus package that was just presented and passed by Senator McConnell and Senator Shelby.
That is excellent. And also, now would be a great time to remind our listeners that one of the reasons the Secretary of State for the state of Alabama, John Merrill, is with us is to encourage absentee voting. And we're going to touch on the high points of that here in just a moment. But if you still want to go out and vote, the polls will be open. And we do want to encourage you to be mindful of folks' space, stay 6 feet apart, and, take care of yourself. Be safe in this, but also exercise your right as a citizen of this great state of Alabama to go out and vote in the runoff coming up July the 14th. Once again, John, what is the last day of registration?
Yes, the last day to register for the 14th runoff, June the 29th. The last day to register for an absentee ballot application is 9th. The last day to turn your absentee ballot in person 13th, and the last day to have it postmarked is July the 13th. So we want to encourage vote. You may not be able to vote in person, but through the absentee process, be able to vote the same way and have your vote counted and your ballot prepared, the candidate your choice. See you at the polls.
Absolutely. And we're looking at the website right now, sos.alabama.gov/Alabama-votes. It's real easy to find, sos.alabama.gov. Or the phone number is 800-274-8683, 800-274-8683. And John, go ahead and give them those other numbers before we go.
Sure. 334-242-7200, 334-242, the general switchboard for the office 8. And if you can't get the information you need, if you don't get it in a timely fashion, call me on my cell phone at 334-328-2787, 334-328-2787.
All right. There you have it. That is the Secretary of State for the wonderful state of Alabama, Mr. John Merrill. We thank you. Marcus, Dave, any final questions before we let the Secretary get back to work?
Hard work that he's doing. Look, John Merrill and and all of our public officials have been thrown into a very unusual situation. So I appreciate the hard work that they're doing. I sure do.
Absolutely.
No additional questions here.
All right. John, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. We'll let you get back to all the duties you have and also memorizing all those numbers. We thank you. We thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Guys, thank you all for having us.
All right.
I hope he remembers to wash his dang hands. That's all I have to say.
What a great guest we had today. That is Secretary of State.
Information, Ricky. I tell you what, we're going to, if we're not careful, we're going to let things slip. And that's why we have elected officials minding the store, so to speak. And it was a great guest to have because people are concerned with the upcoming elections. And they want to make sure that everything gets done right. And it fills me with confidence to have somebody like John up there giving us the information and telling us how we can participate.
Sam must be home playing video games or watching Netflix right now because you're buffering a little bit.
Am I buffering? Well, I tell you what, he and I just got finished shooting hoops in the backyard about 2 minutes before the show started this afternoon. Having a great time with the family. I hope everybody's enjoying this great weather that we're having this afternoon. And tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day as well. Sunday, I don't know.
No. Sunday, Dave and Amy may be on the air. We don't know. We'll see how that goes because of some adverse weather that's headed our way. We'll certainly keep an eye on it. And as always, Dave and Amy are right here when the weather gets bad, and we will jump on it, watch those maps for you, and keep you informed.
I'll see my eyes rolling, don't you?
They do an excellent job. Do I? I didn't say that.
So what do you guys have planned? Look, it's a big Easter weekend coming up. Marcus, you got plans with friends or family this weekend? You going to do maybe some DIY work at the house or binge watch a great TV show? What's happening with you?
Nope. Just laundry and cleaning, and that's about it. Nothing. I'm not a big celebrator of a lot of things, so it's just business as usual.
There you go. Hey, there's nothing wrong with keeping the laundry done, brother. Let me tell you what. In these days, some good clean draws will help you out. What about you, Ricky? What you got going on this weekend?
Well, I'm actually going to try to take a little time off tomorrow. I've been working, seems like just solid all the way through, and since this thing reared its ugly head. And tomorrow, I think I just want to put my feet up before the stormy weather of Sunday.
There you
go. Just kind of relax. And
good time to go to that sos.alabama.gov site and go ahead and get your absentee stuff done.
And speaking of websites, let me show some other websites here that are extremely important. Some of them very informative. One right here is the Alabama Chamber of Commerce. This is a great website. They've recently updated it as recently as this morning. Mm-hmm. And when you go to Dothan.com, it's very simple, Dothan.com. That is the the Dothan Area Chamber of Commerce. Go down here to where it says updated information and resources for COVID-19. When you click on that, there are some great resources here.
There,
yeah, one of them is obviously information from the state in Montgomery. We get all the information there from our lovely Governor Kay Ivey. And over here, this is one, Be Kind to Your Mind. This is a webinar. You can sit down and click on this and watch it. And it's how to take care of your mental and emotional health through this whole thing. Something that's very needed right now. And down here at the bottom, some great information they have put together. They have worked hard over there at the chamber. And the very first one, probably at the forefront of everybody's questions right now, is small business assistance and how to take advantage of that, financial resources during COVID-19. And I have never seen a more informative page of links and answers to questions. If you're a small business, this is where all the links and all the answers are. If they're not on this page, there's a link to the page that has the answers for you. And it's a very good page. The other one I'd like to show y'all is the CDC. We've all been to the CDC, but let me show you something that's very interesting on the CDC website. When you go to the CDC website, again, a very, very easy link. It's cdc.gov, cdc.gov. And of course, the biggest item, the above the fold headline here is Coronavirus 2019. Learn more about COVID-19. Click on that. And there's all kinds of information here. But one thing I wanted to point out was this self-checker. This is a pretty incredible tool. Now, what'll happen is once you click on it, you have to answer some privacy information, although none of the information, according to this website, is kept. And it's not going to ask you any personal information as far as name, social security number, phone numbers, any of that stuff. It's simply a yes or no all the way through. And it helps you kind of self-diagnose. So after you say this is okay, I'm with it, you go down here and click agree, and you'll start having your questions. Your first question is, where are you from? Where are you located? In the United States. The next question is, select your state or region, Alabama in this case, and we're going to submit that. And then it says, are you ill or caring for someone who is ill? Now, I will tell you that I feel great, and I answered no to this question here. And then it asked me a series of other questions and finally told me that you seem pretty healthy. Go ahead and continue those safeguards, keep a safe distance, keep your, watch on your temperature, and wear your mask and stay away from crowds, wash your hands and things like that.
Hands.
However, wash your dang hands. At this point, I'm going to fake it and say, yes, I am either ill or tending to someone who's ill. And it says, are you answering for yourself or someone else? Myself. Then it's going to ask me my age. I choose my age. your gender,
don't know
male
that.
or female. And then it's going to ask me, what are some of my symptoms? Not experiencing any life-threatening symptoms, or you have gasping for air, blue lips, face, severe or constant pain or pressure in the chest. Let's go ahead and answer this first one, because a lot of COVID patients have difficulty breathing. So gasping for air, cannot talk without catching my breath. I click on that one, and it says there's a new message. I click on the new message. Call 911. You are having a medical emergency. So it doesn't say go.
No, call first.
Yeah, call first, and whether that is your healthcare provider, your doctor, or 911. But this is a great tool here, the coronavirus self-checker, and you'll find it at cdc.gov, and just follow those links, and there are some other excellent tools there you can use.
I want to remind everybody, too, about Wiregrass211.com. That's a great resource for local information on how you can get help, whatever kind of help you need. Everybody's connected to Wiregrass211.com. Ricky, what a great program it was this afternoon. Friday afternoon. It's Friday. You know, how many times a day do you have to remind yourself what day it is?
Yeah, I know. I'm going to Wiregrass 211, so y'all keep chit-chatting, and we'll bring that up here and look at some of those.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. Well, tell you what, the business world seems to be taking everything in stride, offering curbside pickup and delivery options now, especially the restaurants. They seem to have really stepped up to the plate during this situation. Marcus, have you noticed any other businesses perhaps following those good, safe practices of social distancing and keeping everything super clean?
Basically, the normal ones. I really haven't been paying too much attention because I've been in the house.
Yeah.
I haven't been anywhere. So, but I do have, but I have noticed that a lot of the grocery stores are now making people line up and practicing a limit of how many people can be inside and how many people, you know, once one goes in, one can come out. And they make sure that you practice distancing while you're in the store.
Mm-hmm. That's smart. That's really smart. I've been hearing reports of stores all over the place actually starting to paint 6-foot X's so people will know exactly where to stand and everything will be right. Good, exactly, which is super cool. You know, we're just doing what we got to do. Isn't that right, Ricky?
That's exactly right. Robert McDonald. I got it wrong. Robert Donald on Facebook says Longhorns has some great service. So a shout out to Longhorn right there. Longhorn. Get over there and get yourself some to eat. Here is Wiregrass 211. And just like some of the other websites, the easiest way to get to the information is go to news. Under news, you have COVID-19. Click on COVID-19. And they've got a link here to their Facebook page. And if you just go ahead and click on that, it'll take you to their Facebook page. But down here is probably one of the best collections of information for our local area, including by county. This is where meals can be picked up. This is where assistance can be found in all of our counties. And then at the top, questions concerning symptoms and testing, hand sanitizer when it's available, some facts about staying at home, closes and cancellations in the Wiregrass area, food stamps and SNAP program, the stimulus fund for citizens, information in there about that. Also, mental health and your mental well-being. There are helplines on there and a website as well. So another wonderful site to go to. That is, just simply type in Wiregrass 211, whether you're on Facebook or whether you are on the web itself. It'll pop right up there in the search engine and go over there. David Duke and all the guys and gals do a great job. Wonderful volunteers over there who step up, and haven't checked on David lately, but he was ill himself. So I hope he's doing better. But I want to thank y'all for being here with us this afternoon. It was a very informative show. And just for a reminder, sos.alabama.gov. That is where you go to find out about absentee ballot voting or voting in person coming up in July. Their phone number is 800-274-8683. It's scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. And Marcus, want to thank you so much for being with us today. I want to thank y'all for a great week. Our crew has done yeoman's duty here at Wiregrass Radio. The family at Wiregrass Radio has been obviously separated, and we are working from all different locations, but man, has everybody stepped up. And I just want to personally thank Marcus for everything you do and keeping the, look at there, he's trying. And Marcus, I'm going to need you to go to Blakely and work on that transmitter for me, if you will. That's a world's smallest record player or violin? I can't remember.
Violin. that was for Dave there.
That was for Dave. My heart bleeds purple Kool-Aid for you.
But thank you, Ricky. I appreciate that.
All right, Marcus, thank you. And Dave, thank you so much. Dave in his home studio.
You're welcome, Ricky. Thank you.
Somewhere within the circle in Dothan, Alabama. Both of you gentlemen and all of you viewers and all of you listeners have a wonderful Easter weekend. God bless you, folks. And we will see you back here Monday on Wiregrass Strong. And in the meantime, stay strong, Wiregrass.